Hey everybody, that's Thumper. Um, so what is today about? Well, let's see. I'll just take this one out. It's about the Griffin. That's right. Um, the Griffin is done. Um, and I got my feedback from Mike Emirates, and I only had to change some comments, so good to go. I guess technically, officially in the book. Ugh, I got cat hairs up my nose. Um, and yeah, so I just wanted to do a video today, um, because it's been a little while, and I will be doing the spotlight video with Chuck, on my other channel, Create Your Own Comics. If you didn't know, the link will be below. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna work out a day to do that. I've been a combination of a lot of things. Part of it is burnout. I just been running strong since about January, and I wanted to, yeah, just catch up on sleep. I mean, the last week, I've been working around the clock with no schedule, and I'm trying to slowly get back into a normal work schedule again. It's always balance. It's always balance. It's always like there's opportunities at every hour, and I do the best I can to to do the things I do. But I hope you've been enjoying my studio synergies, getting together with a lot of good people, and just having conversations. And those are a ton of fun. And part of me wants to do 3 or 4 of them a week. I know I mentioned in one of my shows that, oh, I could barely, just confirm 2 episodes a month. I go back and forth because it's I could be an excellent YouTuber. I could be an excellent Instagrammer. I could be a pretty decent Facebooker. I don't know. I really love YouTube. I really love Instagram. Facebook is where everybody connects, so that's a necessary evil. Um, I posted a couple of things on DeviantArt recently. Not anything people elsewhere haven't seen, but figured try to be a little more active there. Sort of haven't got my footing there yet, but I share my videos there, what I'm up to video wise, which is a lot lately. Mm, and yeah, so this will round out my 100 days of working on my anthology project, the Griffin. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I wrote my story, since since I made my new cover for my YouTube. I haven't talked about writing that much, but I got feedback from a couple people who have seen it and read it and really enjoyed it. So um, I'm not just blind to the fact that I liked it and um, thought it was okay. Other people have definitely enjoyed it, so I could officially say, hey, I kind of know how to write, I guess. Um, so much like my penciling, I'm still learning a lot with writing. Um, but I constructed the art based off the couple of ideas I wanted to hit upon within the story. So the 4 pages pretty much laid out. Um, where were my 3 ideas? That well, it would be about a griffin. That's a given. Um, that he would be the last one. So after him, there would be no more griffins, therefore extinct. And that he had memories of his mother growing up a little bit. Um, and that it wasn't. Most griffins are known for protecting gold coins or trinkets or some sort of thing, treasure essentially. And I wanted my griffin to be a protector of a tribe. So I, when I did my thumbnails for the 4 page story, I thumbed them out really fast. The art, of course, took the longest amount of time. Um, I penciled the pages after the thumbnails and didn't spend a hell of a lot of time on that. I know, what I have learned um, doing this story, it will go forward to the next story I'll be working on, um, and hopefully make it that much better. So I do want to take a little more time penciling out the pages on the actual, you know, uh, paper, Bristol paper, um, so that when I go in with inks, I'm not like all over the place. Because um, artistically, there are things that are strong. There are things that are a little weak. Overall, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the art as well as the story. Um, and it's us artists can be very critical of our own work, but I think I definitely like because I was totally pushing against the deadline with this in order to finish it up. Um, I really needed to allow myself a little more time. And anybody who's been following me this whole journey knows that I spent half the 100 days just posting sketches on Instagram. So uh, yeah, that was foolish. I won't do that again. Um, what else? Oh, so when it came time to uh, actually sit down and script it out, um, I had all 4 pages fully, the art fully done in front of me, and I, how did I do it? Um, I wrote it out. I wrote it out on another piece of paper, just with a pen. How I would write sort of the Griffin's voice, because that's essentially. It was easy in that way that I thought of doing it strictly as narration from the Griffin's point of view. It saved me any word balloons. It saved me any um, visual setup, yada yada. It was sort of a one note kind of thing, and that was intentional. I mean, it's like I didn't think anything else was necessary in the telling of this story. Um, so from start to finish, to script it out, um, I was looking from page to page, from panel to panel, and I just wrote. I wrote. I think in the end, I might have um, changed one line here to the position of another line there. It's very little changes from what I just sat down and wrote. And from start to finish, it didn't take me longer than an hour and a half, 2 hours. Um, and that has a lot to do with, you know, because I worked on the art, because I played over and over in my head, um, I had different ideas along the way. But when I sat down to write it, I almost started, I almost went with a fresh idea. Not totally fresh, not totally off track. But I did think previously of different ideas, which I didn't write down. Um, and it was just really interesting. So I wrote it down, start to finish. Yeah, it only took like an hour and a half, 2 hours max. Like I said, I may have switched one or two lines from where they popped up to go more with the art. But then I typed it all on actually a sticky note because my word processor program, whatever, is on my laptop, not my new computer. So I just went with sticky note because that was available and easy. Didn't have to worry about downloading a program. And I said, okay, page one, that's the text. Page two, that's the text. Page three, and just reviewed it for spelling mistakes. Read it over a couple of times, and was like, "That's good, good to go." Um, and for those that remember, like I wrote a comic book recently for somebody who was looking for help on his project, and that I had a real word processor. I had a word program, and yeah, I spent a lot more time on that because it wasn't my original idea. Part of the challenge of that was um, trying to get all his ideas within the issue and building off of that. So there was a little back and forth on that. With me more. It's like just making sure that I got it all in there. I did within the script proposition some questions about how to expand out because I knew it wasn't just going to be the one issue, um, like where things might lead as the series progressed. Um, and so that was a lot more. That was a lot more challenging writing. Of course, we are dealing with something that is wasn't 4 pages. It was a 22-page comic. Um, but with that I didn't write a full script to where I did you know, I wrote out all the text, all the dialogue, all the everything per page. I just sort of covered the dialogue on important scenes, um, and how we moved from character to character or from scene to scene. So it was more of a general gist of what was going on, and but clearly explained. Um, but with this, it was word for word what the the inner dialogue of the Griffin was for page to page, not necessarily going panel to panel, because I left that open because I know I'm an inexperienced letterer, which in the end, uh, you know, total transparency, I did have help on the lettering, and also I did screw up on my page size because I essentially eyeballed it. Um, this is I think it's 9 by 11, but actually I trimmed it so I could scan it within my small scanner. Um, but yeah, so I, if anything, I did screw up on the size of the comic page, which makes me think because I have some comic pages I did as a web comic that I some point I'm gonna get back to, and because I made them for the web, um, I realized that if I'm ever going to publish, that I'm going to have to reconfigure things. But I didn't do so much that it's going to be a problem. Um, but I do have to make sure going forward that um, it's important to get the size of your comic pages correctly. So um, I did enjoy doing them at essentially, comic book size. Um, Something I rallied in my head for years against. I've seen Amanda Connor do her pages actual size, and I've seen other artists do the same. And yeah, so I've tried it out on a couple of things, and yeah, I kind of like it. Um, it doesn't, it's like I guess like if you know Scott Serklin's style, it's his work is detailed, but it's a lot simpler in construction and design and all that. So when that's shrunk down to actual comic size, it's a heck of a lot tighter. Um, and if you know, I mean, there are opposite. They're like highly detailed artists that do it double up and then shrink it down, and you don't lose anything if it's done right. Um, but I figured I'd try it, and um, in the end, uh, because some some of the pages, they were separated into different panels. We could sort of, elongate the space in between them and do stuff like that. Second page was just one giant panel, so that just had to be stretched. Um, in the end, it's like I did I did the pages, white page with borders. In the final art, it's black background, black borders. Um, so it's really interesting how it all came out, except for like the opposite page, which is page two. Um, but I'm happy with the art. I'm really happy with the story. It definitely included everything I wanted to talk about and mention. So yeah, it's all from the Griffin's mind, him telling the story, and really happy. And I'm really excited to see everybody else's story. Um, like I've seen Marshall Lee's completed story, and I really like that. But other than that, I've only seen bits and pieces of mostly art from everybody else's. So I will like to have the book in hand and read everybody else's story. So yeah, this is sort of me checking in, um, and I didn't have in mind a schedule like what exactly I wanted to do on YouTube. And I have a lot of client work I have to work on. Um, but I do want to find balance, and I also have the Kickstarter, which I'm delaying at the moment. Um, so I think by it's Thursday, I might do another video too before next week. I have an interview with this guy Dan Monroe Sunday, but I don't think that's live. I think he records it and then posts it. So I'll put the link in my video once that goes up. He wanted to interview me. Like I mentioned, Chuck is going to interview me for my other channel. Um, I'm just looking at my cats sleeping. I got three of them here. Two are outside. The weather has been much nicer, and I fear the summer. I hate the hot, hot weather. Um, but yeah, I've been cleaning the apartment, the studio. Mostly, I got the other side, my bedroom and bathroom, super cleaned. Still got work on my studio. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just, I was going hot and heavy on YouTubing and Instagramming and everything, and just needed a break. If you didn't know, my brother and Amanda Connor have a new Kickstarter, Painkiller Jane. What's it called? Something the future. Trust the future. Um, you can just type that in on Kickstarter and go pledge to that, share that out. He's pretty close to the goal. It was a high goal because it's a hardcover book, a little bigger than usual. And it's got the monolith, a character only previously seen in DC Comics. There's a miniseries he wrote and did over at DC, and now uh, Paper Films, his company, owns it. Um, and if you didn't know, Monolith is named Peter, so I got that going for me. Um, it's a Jewish character, so I don't know what to think of that. Being we're all Catholic, but so anyway, wouldn't be the first time my brother had me in his one of his comics. Um, Yeah, that's it. I'm tired. I'm still tired. Just my sleep schedule has been completely altered. But yeah, slowly getting back into things. Really excited about a lot of things. Um, I was rushing to get the Kickstarter up and out there, and I kind of still am. Although I've had client work come to me, um, so that covers me for the moment. Um, for me, it's all about timing, and I'm an individual trying to run my whole business. Um, so while it still will be a quick Kickstarter, I'm thinking, because I can't sustain a longer one, not with everything I have going on. Um, yeah, I'm gonna really think about my schedule of everything over the weekend, over the rest of this week and the weekend, and give you the results next week, I guess. So that's it for now. Please like, um, comment, and when the 100s Anthology Book 2, Werewolves and Unicorns and Other Mythical Creatures like the Griffin goes live, I will let everybody know so that they can buy it simply for my story, um, and all the other 30 creators. Um, yeah, I got videos I want to do. I want to do more Studio Synergy. Those are a heck of a lot of fun. I finally did bring back Independent Crossroads. So yeah, I want to schedule things better so that I'm not tripping over myself, but I'm getting valuable content out there. I will say, by doing so many studio synergies in a row, I really know that they're most effective on my channel. Um, and I'm kind of thinking I might do a video a week where I'm sort of catching you up on my comic progress, and much in the vein of Gazbot, if you know who he is, um, or like Marshall Lee with his vlogs. Cause I kind of dig that format, and it will save me from having to post something like that up every day, and where simply I can, on my Instagram, show you progress in the visual sense. So yeah, and because I want to make a lot more art as well as work on comics, I can do another series I had in mind. So yeah, stay tuned. More coming next week, and I'll give you the full scoop. Hope you being productive and making comics. And yeah, so this is the last of my episodes for the THEE100s anthology. And yeah, I love being part of the group and doing the videos. I do plan on revisiting, doing another round of 100 days of making comics. Um, so technically, it would be my round two, because the anthology is different, and my other attempts are more failed attempts. So, and I want to do a perfect run, so it might be a while. But yeah, stay tuned. All right, talk to you later. Bye.